Welcome to the Society of Entrepreneurs 33rd Annual Dinner and Awards Banquet. First, I want to thank our legacy sponsors. Our legacy sponsors sponsor all of our programs. Thank you so much to City Auto, Marianne and David Andrews, Independent Bank, and Superlow Foods, who sponsor all of our programs. I also want to thank tonight the McInerney Family Foundation over at this table over here. Bob McInerney was the title sponsor of Next Big Thing, our pitch competition. So thank you very much for that. Thank you to those legacy sponsors. I want to thank our dinner sponsors behind the scenes who make the room beautiful. Mike and Marion Bruns, Campfire Collective, Driven Racing Oil, Junior Achievement of Memphis in the Mid-South, Landers Auto Group, and V2 Media. And then I want to thank our table sponsors, Bank 3, Burroughs Foundation Guthrie's Chicken, eBiz Solutions, Epicenter, Grinder Tabor and Grinder, Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services, Peggy and L.R. Jelinek, Memphis Dental Corporation, Joni and Andy Taylor, the Marston Group, Paula and Bob McInerney, the Crosstown Capital, Paragon Bank, Pinnacle Financial Partners, Regions Bank, Service Master by Stratos, and Tag Truck Enterprises. Thank you so much for sponsoring the tables. I'm almost done with the thank yous, I promise. I want to say thank you so much to Karen Blockman Carrier and Another Roadside Attraction who have done the food tonight. I guarantee you it is going to be delicious. The music is by the Memphis Jazz Workshop, thank you. Video production is by V2 Media. The wine and beverages, most important, from Athens Distributing. Memphis Magazine is the media sponsor. And tonight as you leave, you will get a cupcake and a cute spatula. Cupcakes are made by Dance Like a Cupcake, and they're sponsored by Junior Achievement of Memphis. So I thank you very much. There's lots of sponsors because it takes a lot of people to make this happen. So thank you very much for giving me this time to do that. Without them, these sponsors, this wouldn't happen. So let's give everybody another round of applause. And now I would like to introduce my board chairman, Ron Coleman. Ron, there you go. Thank you.
I have a really easy job. I just have to welcome you to our event. Thank you for coming. We appreciate it. But I did want to say one thing. One of the ladies asked me, did I win a 5K? No, I didn't, and I wanted to explain this. The medallions with the red ribbon are the new people. And I'll ask them to stand up just so we can see where they are. And the ones with the blue ribbons are members who have already been come into the society. So they stand up. Let's see them too. Next year, we're going to have a medal for the 5K people, too. You know, the entrepreneurs affect a lot of people. They affect their families, they affect their employees, and they really affect the whole community. And I think when you see the new inductees, you're going to see why I say that. I'd like to introduce Dr. Scott Morris to give us the invocation.
Let us pray together. God of us all, who smiles on the kind and the courageous and those who Valley Park. Tonight we celebrate the spirit of entrepreneurship, that wonderful mix of faith, hard work, wild ideas, and the occasional panic attack. We thank you for the innovators who make Memphis better, who see empty lots and imagine bright futures, who hear it can't be done and answer, watch me. We lift up especially our new members, May they find in this society inspiration, community, and a reminder that no one succeeds alone. And remember with grace those members who have left us this past year. Dan Palmer and L.D. Beard. Now bless this gathering and those who have prepared our meal and serve us. Bless the city we love and engender every entrepreneur here with wisdom, perseverance, and enough humility to keep asking for directions when they need it. And finally, Lord, bless the families who love us, support us, and still believe in us, even when that great idea happens to fail. We pray in the name of the God who sits high but looks low. Amen.
Please enjoy your dinner.
In Memphis, there are not a lot of opportunities for startup founders to connect with seasoned entrepreneurs. And the exception to that is the Society of Entrepreneurs.
The Society of Entrepreneurs was started in 1991. My father, Walker Yulehorn, and a group of 14 other founders got together and decided that Memphis was an unusual place. It was a hotbed of entrepreneurship, and why was that, and what kind of ways could they support one another? The Society is a membership organization that's made up of the icons of Memphis business. They're voted in every year by their peers, and then that group of entrepreneurs has chosen to give back to our community by educating and encouraging upcoming entrepreneurs.
I was trying to find an organization that really catered towards emerging and established entrepreneurs.
SOE to me has provided a lot of opportunities to grow, to connect, to learn from other entrepreneurs.
Every event I've attended has a diverse mix of entrepreneurs, all supporting each other to help each other thrive.
We have several different programs that we do. The first one is the Entrepreneurs Roundtable. We have a member of the society speak frequently about their entrepreneurial journey.
I always come away with actionable takeaways, valuable information, lots of contacts. It's great networking.
We have a group called the Insights Group. And the Insights Group is a closed group. It's all confidential.
We are a group of about 15 to 20 mid-level entrepreneurs who are looking to grow and scale our businesses.
And then we have 6 mentors from the society.
We have the experts to come sit in with us and share their stories and thoughts about what we're presenting to the group.
I've been very blessed to be able to connect with several of the actual members of the Society of Entrepreneurs and to just learn from them, gain their insights, their knowledge and wisdom.
We do the good, the bad, the ugly sometimes. And the first day I was so nervous. Should I really share the ugly? I learned that it's okay to share it. They have ideas, they can make suggestions. Sometimes it's just the motivation that I needed.
And then we also have the Next Big Thing, which is a wonderful pitch competition. The winner gets not only guidance and mentorship from the society members, but also a $10,000 cash prize.
You have entrepreneurs who are either at the seeding stage of their company or they're already established businesses who are looking for that additional capital to scale to the next level.
This year we had 59 business owners apply for the 6 spots.
I participated in the Next Big Thing pitch competition. I won that pitch competition. They have been able to provide guidance and mentorship and a network that I don't believe that I would have ever accessed as a new entrepreneur.
I've been able to grow and scale my business because of SOE.
There's something unique and special about seeing something go from ideation all the way to the full-fledged marketplace, whether that's a product or service, and actually being able to add value to the broader community.
One of the things that I really admire the most about SOE is the impact that they're making in the community. The community that they bring together to really help individuals grow that has a bigger impact to help Memphis grow is like nothing else I've seen in an organization here in the city.
I am grateful to the Society of Entrepreneurs for seeing me, motivating me, and inspiring me along my journey.
Yeah, you've heard about the Insights group on this film, and they're very close to my heart. I actually am a member of the Insights group. I'm one of the mentors of it. And there's a bunch of them here tonight. I'd like them to stand up so they can be recognized. I will say this, I learn as much from them as they learn from me. You'd be amazed what you can learn by just listening to them. They're great people, and they're going to be great entrepreneurs as they go. We also mentioned in the film the next big thing. And the next big thing winner last year was Limber Robotics. And Susan and Evan Drumright are here. Please stand so we can recognize you. Thank you. In addition to giving the $10,000 gift, we also give a audience favorite award. And that went to Alfred Milan. Is he here tonight? Please stand up. And now to the business at hand. I'd like to introduce Bill Courtney, the co-chair of the membership committee. This is the most difficult part of all this operation, is trying to pick the next great entrepreneurs. So come on up here. He is the CEO of Classic American Hardwoods. Thank you.
Just being a candidate for admission into the Society of Entrepreneurs is quite an honor. And every year we have between 30 and 40 candidates. The reason it's an honor is because members of the society nominate people from our community that they think exhibit the characteristics that we want for members in the society. And just to be a candidate means someone stood up and said, hey, look at this person's accomplishments. Look at what they do. From that 40, very difficult, whittle that number down to 9 or 10 that we think best represent the characteristics of what we're looking for. And those are people that take risk, people that have vision, people that inspire strategic growth. And then the fourth criteria that maybe is the most important is the people that engage in our community with their success in a philanthropic way to make a difference outside of their own businesses and their own families. Once we get that 9 folks, then we have another meeting and another vote, and we get to our initiates. So tonight, the initiates that you're going to be introduced with are what we would think are the cream of the crop. And it is an arduous process that we take very seriously. And there is no winner or loser, because the other people that aren't initiated with us tonight are incredibly successful in their own right. So it is with humility that I say congratulations and welcome to the 4 initiates, and how well you have been appreciated by your peers for your risk, your vision, your ushering strategic growth, and your giving back to the community. I have one other thing to say. This has been a tough month for my hometown, for our beloved Memphis. Soberingly, 20 people were murdered in our town this month. 1 year ago today, Mayor Young and his wife and 2 of his staff were my guests at my table. They didn't finish dinner because it was 1 year ago today. I was sitting next to him when he got the call, if you'll remember the shooting that happened at the Orange Mountain basketball court outside. 1 year ago it was that, now it's this. I know that's a sobering thought for a night that we're to be celebrating. Here's why I bring it up. Any complex issue that we have in our community, we all know there's no silver bullet. There's a myriad of answers to fix complex issues, and there's a lot of folks in our town working on it. both in the private and public sector, a lot of well-intentioned people. And there's a lot of answers. There's got to be a complex answer. But I know this. I've spent the better part of 30 years spending my time outside of my business and family working in the inner city with inner city youth and in the schools. And I can tell you this, disenfranchisement leads to all of it. When you don't feel like you're part of the community, when you don't feel like you have a chance in the community, and when you don't feel like you're ever going to get ahead, you fall into an abyss of disenfranchisement loss. Why am I saying this? The answer to that part of the complex problem, that's us. Job creators, people that create dreams, people that create hope, people that create opportunity for people that don't have opportunity. And then people like an insight group, people, entrepreneurs willing to share their wisdom to another young budding entrepreneur. We've been around 50 years. What does the 100-year celebration look like? If we foster entrepreneurship in this community, if we give of ourselves, our time, and our resource, if we use this organization for something other than to just celebrate each other, but to also help in our community, we can foster so much of what can help this community, which is growth, resource, vision, philanthropy for those who need it. We don't have a silver bullet to fix the problems, but I do know this. Job growth, creation, and entrepreneurship can help people bring themselves up and can cure a lot of what ails us. So as we celebrate tonight, I ask you to think about what we can do as a group and what we're going to look like 100 years from now, because entrepreneurship can fix a lot of what hurts us. Congratulations to our initiates, and it's my honor to introduce Susan Stevenson to introduce our first one. Thank you.
Well, good evening. I have the extraordinary privilege tonight to introduce our very first of the new initiates in the Society of Entrepreneurs this year. His name is Bill Dunavant. He's a very fine man. He's a great Memphian, and he also happens to be a dear friend. You all know the name. We live in a river city in the heart of the Delta, and we're associated with cotton in every way possible. And so is the Dunavant family. The Dunavant family, in fact, Dunavant Cotton was the largest raw cotton merchant in the world for many years. And Bill started his career in that business. That business that was an international business took Bill around the world. He went to Japan. He went to Europe. He went to Asia. He started the operation for Dunavant Cotton in Australia, and he built it into an extraordinary powerhouse. And that career was exceptional, but that's not the reason we're here tonight. The reason we're here tonight is because Bill became an entrepreneur inside of a company that had been around since 1929. In 2010, at a time of extraordinary volatility in the cotton industry, at a time when there was massive consolidation taking place, Dunavant Enterprises made the decision to sell their cotton operation to Allenberg Cotton, which is a part of the Louis Dreyfus worldwide organization. And that could have been the end of the story. But thankfully for all of us, Bill Dunavant is an entrepreneur at his very heart. And he and his team at Dunavant made the decision that they were going to do something next instead of sitting back and thinking about what they had done in the past. So beginning in 2010, they took an inventory of all the things they knew how to do because of their business around the world for the many years that they had been in the cotton operation. And they took an inventory of the things they knew how to do well. And they made a decision that they were going to invent themselves as what they already did extraordinarily well, which is understand complex problems and solve them for all of us. They took the learnings that you acquire over many decades of doing complex transactions, moving cotton around the world, and they built a company that today is based on their extraordinary learnings in logistics, in real estate, and in capital investment. And for the record, Dunavant 2.0 is a thriving company, a great Memphis company, led by a great Memphian. Which brings me to my second point. All of you know my friend Bill Dunavant is a Memphian to his very core. In fact, he's a sixth generation Memphian, and seated at his table is the seventh generation. I have to say that Bill has been involved in the community for his entire life. He's been part of the Memphis Botanic Gardens. He's been a part of the Boy Scouts. He's helped Baptist Hospital. He's led the New Memphis Institute, and I could go on and on. Most recently, Bill has served as the chair of the Memphis Chamber's Chairman's Circle. And for those of you who are not aware, Bill has been on a tour of changing the narrative in our community and reminding us of all the great things we have to talk about in Memphis. Not only the things that we can claim as our extraordinary gifts, but also the opportunities that we face. If you have not had a chance to hear Bill Dunavant's presentation on why Memphis, do yourself a favor and find the roadshow, because you're going to leave that experience reminded of why this place is so special. He will inspire you, he will give you both hope, he will motivate you, and he will remind you why it's important for us to claim this place. Because at his very heart, Bill Dunavant wants to make sure that Memphis is a city that continues to grow and prosper. But more importantly, he wants it to be a place that your children and my children and the children that Bill was referring to earlier all want to come home and build a life and build a family and build a career, because that's who he is. I could go on for a great deal longer, but I want to just mention one last thing that's important to say. Bill Dunavant is part of an extraordinary community in the Society of Entrepreneurs. He's a second generation member. That doesn't happen very often. For many of you in this room, we knew what an extraordinary man his father Billy was. He was a giant in this community. He was a philanthropist. He was an incredible businessman. He was known around the world for his gift at making everyone at ease. And Bill reveres his father, just as all of us who had a chance, a privilege of knowing him, honor and respect him. But tonight I want to say this. I think Bill Dunavant is an example of an apple that did not fall far from a legendary tree. He is a successful businessman. He is a smart, generous, charming man. He's one of the most persuasive people you'll ever know. Put your wallets in your back pocket and put your hand over him if he comes to see you. But more than anything else, he is a person who is standing up for the things that matter the most to us and making sure that we have a chance to have in this community the very best of us and the very best things for our future, for all of us and for all of our children and all of their children. I have to say, I know him as this. Bill has a huge heart. He's a lot like Secretariat, the great racehorse. I think many of you may know that Secretariat was probably the greatest racehorse of all time, and they always wondered what made him so special. Years later, after he had passed away, they did an autopsy and found out that Secretariat's heart was about 3 times the size of a normal horse. That's pretty amazing. I think that's true of my friend Bill Dunavant. His heart's about 3 times the size of a regular guy. And sitting next to him tonight, his family is the example of what's at the very heart of it. His beautiful wife, Michelle, his daughters, Audsley and Hillary, his sons, Billy and Harry, and the family that they are growing, the important and beautiful part of that life the family that's growing and expanding. I want to say I'm lucky to know Bill Dunavant. We're lucky to have Bill as a part of this community. And I'm very proud to have a moment now to introduce you to a brief video that'll tell you a little bit more about my extraordinary friend.
The greatest gift a parent can give a kid is education. I had the honor of going to the University of Virginia for college. I wanted to go to business school, and my father rejected that and said he'd teach me more right here at Dunavant Enterprises. We were in the raw cotton trading business. Ended up in the back of the warehouse, starting on the bottom where everybody else started in our company, and kept growing in the business. Dad gave me lots of different opportunities to move to the different facets of the business, which was interesting to me. I showed a desire to move overseas because we were expanding our business globally back in the mid-'80s. So I transferred to Osaka, Japan, lived in Kobe, Japan. Was overseas for about 3 years. You're talking about an education. You can't buy an education that I got living and dealing with all the dynamics in Asia from living in Japan, being in the sales divisions in Taiwan and People's Republic of China back then, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines. And then we had an opportunity, a great opportunity. We bought the George H. McFadden Cotton Company here in Memphis on a leveraged buyout. I got the opportunity to go look at some very small asset that they had down in Australia. Went down there and just saw a world of opportunity. And I took that ball and ran. Dad gave me the ropes to build a big operation in Australia. Became the third largest ginner in Australia, the third largest trader in Australia over a very, very long period. I really enjoyed the international side of the business, so I became the executive vice president of our global operations. At that stage, we were doing business in every producing country in the world. That had its own set of challenges, but yet its own set of opportunities. When you're in business, things can change. For us in raw cotton, my dad retired and I was CEO of the company. We could feel changes happening to the trading business, not just cotton trading business, all commodity trading businesses. And so we made a decision to exit the raw cotton trading business, processing business, warehousing business, the whole thing. When you're moving raw cotton from the hardest places in the world, and you're doing it with a good team of professionals logistically, why can't we take that business model from raw cotton and go out into the global logistics market? Today, we've got 8 different verticals in logistics that create profit and loss statement. On top of that, our funds management business as well as our real estate. Even today in our company, we like to look at the hard way to do business, because if it's easy, everybody does it, right? Whether we were the first raw cotton traders after the breakup of the Soviet Union in Uzbekistan, whether Dad was the first into China in Mao Zedong's days, whether we became the largest microfinancer in Africa, we just kept growing the hard parts. To do that on a global scale with a global logistics operation, you can't get a better education than that. I'm very strongly a believer in history and what it means to us. The ability to perpetuate a family business. My dad did it to me. Now I got to do it for the next generation. And the hardest thing in the world is to do that. And you look at the Society of Entrepreneurs and the other great leaders that have been blessed with this honor. Incredible figures from a historical perspective of the influence and difference they made on the community, not necessarily because of their business, but because of what they did for this community. It kind of takes your breath away to be in that crowd, right?
Please join me in welcoming Bill Dunavant.
So as she said, I'm a history guy, so let me go back in history briefly. September 8th, 1979, Orange, Virginia, sitting on the ground with a static line parachute on my back, looking at my 3 friends that are with me. The jump instructor said we're about to jump out of an airplane. Who's going first? I said, I am. I'm not waiting on these other crazy guys. I can't sit in the airplane and watch them jump first. So with that, Mark, Alan, and Bill, I'm damn glad to be jumping before y'all. Let me tell you another important date in my life, March 15th, 2015. That great education I got in Virginia with a history economics degree, misdiagnosed a heart attack in the middle of the night. I will get emotional, so hold on with me. And you know what? There are three things that come to your mind. Well, first of all, I went snow skiing 36 hours later. That was really stupid. But after that, I realized I had a big problem and was airlifted out of Aspen, Colorado. I was in intensive care by myself in Denver, Colorado. There are three things that come to your mind very quickly. Give up your business, give up everything. The first three things are the following. What rules all of us every day is your faith. Secondly is your family. Third is your friends. And I can tell you, you go through something like that, your business, your stuff, everything you've done in your life, doesn't mean anything because it comes this quickly. Scott Morris, it starts with your faith. There's no question about it. Because without it, you don't make it. Then your family. And I will tell you, the sun rises every day in my life because of my wife, Michelle. And I love you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Every day I wake up and I'm so blessed. My four children, Dawsley, Hillary, Billy, and Harry. I'm a history guy. I'm sixth generation. They're the seventh generation. And I have four grandchildren. They're at home tearing my house up right now. But they're the eighth generation, okay? They're the ones that matter. And I'm really, really proud of that fact. Now, let me tell you this, and I say this very strongly. I'm extraordinarily humbled to join this group. Pretty damn intimidating when you flip the white program over and you look at the other leaders, the great Memphians in this community that are on that list. That's extraordinarily humbling. Why? Because those are extraordinary individuals that are on that list. But I will tell you, as most of y'all know, I have a terminal case of being too positive Memphis. And as I stand up here, as I close, I want to say this. And Susan so eloquently said it. Those leaders on the back of that program have done something other than being in business, other than their faith, other than their family, other than their friends. They've made a difference in this community. There are many ways to make a difference in this community. You can do it financially. You can give your time. You can make a difference, every one of us. And we are at a tipping point in this city. And Bill, I appreciate your comments about what you said, a little negative, but I won't go there. Because you're right. All tides have to lift all boats in this city, from the poorest part of the community to the most wealthy part of this community. And we're going to do it through education. We're going to do it through workforce. We're going to do it through giving people a job, a paycheck, a sense of purpose that every entrepreneur, every businessman in this city strives to do every day. But none of us do it without good people. I have the most incredible team of professionals that work with me every day. You trust them, you love them, and you want them to work for you. I don't banner about the word family business because I'm a sixth generation. My grandfather gave my father an opportunity, who gave me an opportunity, and that is the hardest thing in the world, perpetuate family businesses. But when you do it, you make our community a better place. And we, every single one of us in this room, have got to focus on that. It's just that little extra effort you give. from this room to your employees to your encouragement. I've had the greatest time of my life talking great about Memphis. Why Memphis? What the hell? It's because it's happening right in front of us. We are in a place in our life, in our history of our city, of greatness coming. Do we have challenges? 100%. Every city in America does. But we're not going to do it unless we band together. Again, let me close by saying this. My dad said a long time ago, don't try to fit into my shoes. Don't do it. Make your own shoes and fit in them. And by God, these feel good. So I will say this in closing. God bless everybody. God bless my family. God bless my father. And God bless y'all for the opportunity, the extraordinary opportunity to be here with y'all tonight. Thank y'all.
Please welcome to the stage Society of Entrepreneurs member and retired president of Flint Hydraulics, Inc., Andy Malmo.
You know, 2 years ago, I stood on this same stage and I cried like a baby then. So Nancy says, "You're not going to cry tonight, are you?" I said, "I don't have any reason to cry tonight." Thanks a lot, Bill. I appreciate it. 43 years ago, Mark George and his wife, Melinda, left Franklin, Tennessee to come to Memphis for Mark to pursue a position with a local freight logistics company. As the videos show, Mark had a dream, like most of us of the entrepreneur side, and that dream was to found and start and own a company of our own. In true entrepreneurial fashion, Mark found a niche in that industry that was not being adequately filled. And so it was no surprise to anyone when he left that company to start his own company and pursue that dream. Today, IMC Logistics boasts over 3,000 employees worldwide with revenues in excess of $1 billion. Wow. That leads credence to the old saying about Memphis and its entrepreneurs. There truly is something in the water. Mark's family is a big part of his life. He has 4 children. They're all here tonight, 10 grandchildren. And he and Melinda have been Memphians and strong supporters in the community for quite some time. And although they no longer serve in administrative duties, they find plenty of time to mentor, support, and advise Palmer Children's Home, Neighborhood Christian Center, and Hope Works. Tonight, I'd like to just say, if we can, get the video going tonight, and something I'd like to say as soon as the video is over. So, cue.
Success comes after a lot of hard work and dedication and focus to what you're doing. I'm chairman of IMC Companies, a company I started here in Memphis, Tennessee 43 years ago. Well, it started in 1982. I moved here from Franklin, Tennessee. I married my high school sweetheart. We came to Memphis to continue our education at the University of Memphis. I was just 20 years old and had a strong desire to be successful in building a business. I knew I wanted to be in business for myself, just trying to figure out exactly what it was I wanted to do, which led me to the world of intermodal, the world of containerization. And I had an opportunity to go to work for a small local cartage company. Shortly thereafter, just launched into my own operation and started my own company called Intermodal Cartage Company. It was an industry that was a pretty ugly industry, trucking interlining with railroads. Railroads and trucking companies were kind of enemies. It was an opportunity that wasn't serviced very well. Containerized shipments arriving in Memphis, Tennessee by rail typically in bond with U.S. Customs by some foreign flag ocean carrier. So it was a pretty complicated business. Most trucking companies didn't want to get into that business, so it created an opportunity for me to do something most people didn't want to do. It was an industry that wasn't very well served. I determined pretty quickly that I could do that. At a very early age, I was lucky to have that kind of vision. But even though the company was profitable and making money, solvency was an issue for me. The business was growing at a pace where my receivables weren't coming in fast enough to fund the business. So many days going to the post office, sitting in a car with a prayer that there'd be enough money in the box to meet my payroll. Even my wife, Melinda, when she got off work, I would tell her that receivables are an issue. I'm not getting my money in fast enough to fund the growth of this company. And she'd get in her car. She'd drive around town and help me collect money that was owed to my business. It was tough until finally I was able to get a line of credit with First Tennessee Bank. I got a $20,000 line of credit. And what I learned at that time was I need to stay ahead of this. I wasn't going to a lender to try to get funding for my business at the last minute. I always wanted to have funding in place before I needed it. And that's the way this company's operated ever since. I was always confident that it was going to work. Today, we have about 3,000 employees in the company. And we operate in every state in the United States. We're in every major container terminal, ocean port, and rail terminal in the United States. And it all started right here in Memphis. Being in Memphis and being a link in the international supply chain, Memphis was a key location to the success of this company. It's hard to believe that long ago that I had that kind of vision that I can build a business and be successful at it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce to you tonight CEO of IMC Logistics, Mr. Mark George.
First time to be at this magnificent event, a beautiful venue, beautiful people. I walked in the front door, and the first thing they did is they put this ribbon on me and made me feel very special. Then I noticed there was a lot of people that had blue ones on, and I said, well, what are those for? And, so that was pretty cool. And then I think I see one that's a green one. I got to find out what the green ones are for. So I'm very, very happy to be here. Good evening, everybody. First, thank you, Andy, for nominating me for this tremendous honor. I'm truly humbled to be recognized and included in such a distinguished group of entrepreneurs. Thank you so much. And to my inductees, first of all, Bill, thank you for all that you do for Memphis and the message that you have out there about Memphis being positive. I've heard it. I've listened to it. Matter of fact, I keep it. I keep it because I want to go back and listen to it just to remember, your comments and about how positive we need to be about Memphis, because there is so many good things about Memphis. So thank you for what you do for the Chamber Circle. But I just want to congratulate the fellow inductees, and it's a privilege to share this moment with you, and to my family that's sitting right here at this table, especially my wife. Thank you. I wouldn't be here tonight. I should have brought my water up here, but this will be 3 in a row where we've gotten emotional up here. But your unwavering love and support, Melinda, I wouldn't be here without you. But Melinda and I were newlyweds, just 1 week married when we moved to Memphis in 1982 from Franklin, Tennessee. We were continuing our education at the University of Memphis. We were launching a new business, and we were chasing a dream. It was a leap of faith. Can you imagine the challenge of 3 new startups, a business, being in a new city, going to a new school, and just being married and only being 20 years old? But that's who we were 43 years ago. So 43 years later, I can say with certainty that Memphis has been the best place I could have ever launched my dream and that dream. Thank you. I don't know if that means I'm done and get off the stage, but so over the years, I've learned a few timeless truths about entrepreneurship. Family is your anchor. Vision is your compass. Success is best when it's shared with your team, with your customers, and those that you do business with. Focus on what you do well and be the very best at it. Never say no, and find a way to make it work. And above all else, and I tell this to my family all the time, keep the faith and stay the course. Entrepreneurship is a crazy ride, but it's a ride of a lifetime. Entrepreneurship isn't easy, but it's a privilege. And tonight, being honored here in the city that gave me my start, I'm especially proud to say I'm a Memphian. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage Society of Entrepreneurs member and New York Times best-selling author and Hall of Fame speaker, Mr. Don Hudson.
Thank you very much. It's always an honor to stand at the podium of the Society of Entrepreneurs. Bill, Mark, congratulations. Mark, I got one of the green ones. It means you're one of the oldest dudes around. I walked in tonight, I ran into somebody who said, aren't you Don Hudson in his latter years? I said, yeah, that would be me. Well, tonight it's my great privilege to introduce Dr. Alan Scoggin for induction into our esteemed society. Alan and I have been friends for a number of years, and over a decade actually, and since we met at the Christ Methodist prayer breakfast early one Friday morning a long time ago. Since that time, our friendship has evolved into a business relationship and one of other mutual interests. Alan has a myriad of talents. As an executive, he's built a tremendous company, Med Communications, which, as you will see in the video, is now global in scope. As a father, he has 2 successful grown children, Andrew, who's here tonight, who's the CFO of his company, and Alicia Coker, who has enjoyed successful careers in both pharmaceutical sales and as a website developer, who's also present this evening. As a husband, he's married to the former Joy House, the lovely lady sitting to his right. As a writer, he's the co-author of the soon-to-be-released book, Success with Less Stress. As a philanthropist, he's given unselfishly to many Memphis area charities, among them the Church Health Center, SOS, Memphis Union Mission, and MIFA, to name a few. It's been said that giving back can come in 3 forms. We can give our time, we can give our talent, or we can give our treasure. Alan has given all 3. The genuineness of his philanthropy, in my opinion, can best be illustrated by his 21-year commitment to MIFA, where he's not only given his treasure, but he's also delivered meals to the needy weekly for over 2 decades. And during that 21-year period, he's missed very few Mondays, only those when he was out of town, of dutifully delivering the Meals on Wheels. There are a number of telltale signs of someone who's recognized as a successful entrepreneur and leader. One is his devotion to building and growing an organization of competent, dedicated professionals, showing unique ability to nurture his people into a loyal group of team members themselves. Noted theologian Dr. Philip Brooks once said that few things are more impacting on the lives of others as one who possesses the contagion of a victorious personality. With that fitting descriptor, I now ask you to join me in welcoming into the Society of Entrepreneurs our newest member, Dr. Alan Scoggin. Please run the video.
I'm Dr. Alan Scoggin. I live in Memphis now, but I grew up in a small town in Middle Tennessee, Pulaski. One of the things that led me to where I am today, it was kind of a pathway toward entrepreneurship. It was my father who at age 12 said, "Alan, why don't you come over after school one day and learn what we're doing?" I liked that work so much, and the way he performed in front of me, I approached him one day. I said, "Dad, you have this construction company. Why can't you and I start our own? Maybe call it Scoggin and Son Construction." He said, "No, you're going to college." What I did not realize is that his health was failing. He died when I was a senior in high school. But my desire to be in business started then, and it's never stopped. Well, my work, I was drawn to the University of Tennessee, which is here in Memphis. Back in the 1960s, I had completed some time selling books door to door. But then when I finished college, the Vietnam War was going on, so I was drafted, but I also got a commission in the Air Force as a pharmacy officer. I had received my first degree. So I spent my time statewide. I came back, got another degree, was asked to join the faculty. Then I spent a considerable amount of time, more than I thought I was going to, in academia, where a lot of interesting things happened, including a business opportunity. One of my faculty members was Dr. Quentin Cernka. We were talking one day and he said, "Alan, let's start a business." So he and I started Scoggin and Cernka. I had not done so with my dad, but I got to start my business with him. It was a great opportunity to be involved with Dr. Cernka and develop that, because that then led to another opportunity just before I finished my 30-year career at the University of Tennessee. I worked in the Drug Information Center. That was a great opportunity, and it led me then to be invited to make a presentation at a pharmaceutical company a few years later, which was involved then with my developing the company that I'm involved with now, Med Communications, where I am the current president and CEO and founder. We have about 200 people right now living in 12 different countries. A lot of them live in Canada. I talked this week to a young lady that's hiring. She lives in Brazil. This will be our third person in Brazil, 2 in the Philippines. We have several that live in Lisbon, Portugal, 1 or 2 in Romania. When I think back, and sometimes I think, what would I have done maybe 10 years ago that I didn't do? One of the things that happened later that I think I should have started earlier was an improvement in corporate culture. We have a Halloween costume contest at this company. Some people come with a skit. They will enact something they saw on television or a movie. I have been everything from a Tennessee farmer. I've also been Elvis Presley, and I enjoy that part because it makes life better. It's fun to be here at this place. One day, Don, who's a good friend of mine, he's a part of the society, said, "Alan, you've got a lot of things working in your life." He said, "Your business skill set itself lends itself to other activities such as the Society of Entrepreneurs." I felt honored. And quite frankly, I felt like maybe this is a way for my dad to be rewarded, because he didn't live and get to see me do business type things, own a business. He didn't get to see it. Dad, here it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome now Alan Scoggin to the lectern.
It's a great evening. It's good to be with everyone. Thanks, Don, for the introduction and for nominating me for membership in this incredible society. Several people have made powerful impacts in my personal, business, and professional life. I wish I could name all of them, but they said, Alan, you can only talk for 3 minutes tonight. So what I'm going to try to do is talk about some individuals who are not in the video. And those 3 individuals did help me in a tremendous way. First was my mother. One day, Mom came to me and she said, Alan, she said, your dad's no longer here. There's no college money. You're going to have to go out and do this on your own. I didn't like what she said. I thought there would be money. There wasn't. Several years later, I began to realize that Mom had given me, with those few words, the motivation that I needed to make a difference in my life. Dad was gone. I wanted to be in business. There was a lot of things I wanted to do, but she gave me that. Second person that I want to mention, I have 3. This one, my sisters who are at this table with me tonight know exactly who I'm talking about. Mrs. Zuccarella taught our American history at Giles County High School, where we all went to high school. So she was our faculty advisor for our council, student council, and she came to me one day. She said, Alan, she said, I need to chat with you a minute. She said, you have done a wonderful job as our student body president. And she said, you do realize last January you got elected Mr. Giles County High School. And I did not expect the next statement. She said, I am convinced that you can do almost anything you set your heart and mind to. Then she said, graduate, go out and do whatever it is that you'll wind up doing. The third person is here tonight. Dr. Robert Fuentes. He's sitting at one of the tables that we've got. A friend, a colleague, a biotech consultant. He's involved with me for many years in the pharmaceutical industry. I met Robert one day when he became a student at the University of Tennessee here in Memphis, College of Pharmacy, where I was on the faculty. And we met, we knew each other. 12 to 15 good years later, Robert and I were at a professional program in Miami. He walks up to me and he said, Alan, are you aware of the trend that's beginning right now in the pharmaceutical industry? And I said, keep talking, tell me what you're talking about. He said, Alan, pharmaceutical companies are beginning to outsource things that they have been doing inside the companies for years. Some of the larger pharmaceutical houses are leading this. Then he said to me, it fits what you have been doing at the Drug Information Center at the University of Tennessee. He said, Alan, start a company. Then he said, do it fairly soon while the concept or the idea so that you can take advantage of other pharmaceutical companies, the medium and the smaller ones that come along. And so 2.5 years later, I had started a company. Fortunately, in that same year, with Med Communications, I connected with Robert again. And he was at a company, and they became our first client. This was several years later. But we had talked 2.5 years earlier. So one of the things I want to do before I say a few other final things is say to Robert, thank you for showing up tonight with your wife, Olga, making the trip up from Tampa, Florida, and being with us and spending the weekend. I also would like to thank you for the book, Walk the Talk. I don't know how many of you have seen this. This is a wonderful book, but it talks about getting beyond the talk. And all of us get wrapped up, especially in academia. We use this all the time. We talk about things we're going to do. We never get to doing them. So I thank you for the book, Robert, and for being a big part of my life. I'd like to spend just a little bit of time talking about the people who are here at the table tonight and the contributions they have made. 2 sisters, Charlotte's right here, and Caroline's right here. Middle Tennessee, wonderful people. Thank you for coming over. Robert and his wife came over from Florida. We have a few people from our company that are in the back, and some colleagues of mine are here. My wife, Joy, right here. Joy, thank you. An inspiration you have given me for so many times in so many different ways to continue doing the things that Dad said to me one day. He said, Alan, don't just stand there, do something. Joy understands that I stay pretty busy at a lot of different things. Finally, there's one individual who's here tonight. He is our CFO. It's my son, Andrew. He has played a major role. Andrew, thank you for your role that you have played as we have developed a global pharmaceutical contact center type business. We do a number of different types of things, which I won't go into. But the final thing I'd like to say is that this is an exciting time for me. I want to thank the society. Thank you for this wonderful honor. Thank you, Don.
Alan, this way. Come over here.
Please welcome to the stage Society of Entrepreneurs member and a founding partner of Gerber Taylor Capital Advisors and current CEO of Memphis Dental Corporation, Andy Taylor.
Well, good evening. It's a real pleasure to be here tonight. And congratulations and welcome to all our new society members. In a few minutes, you're going to see a video about Bill Stegbauer and what an amazing businessman he is, and he is, in fact, a true entrepreneur. I'd like to spend just a couple minutes talking about Bill the man, if I may. I became acquainted with Bill about 10 years ago. We were serving on the Orpheum board together. We quickly kind of struck up a bunch of conversations that led to a friendship. And my wife, Joni, and I have gotten to know Bill and his brilliant wife, Dr. Cheryl Stegbauer, through many shared experience, both here at home and also abroad. And to kind of frame the relationship and the humanity of this, I'm going to share a little bit of a story. And Bill, I hope this doesn't embarrass you too much. So we've had loads of fun together, traveling and being out together. And I was just thinking about this the other day, and I think out of all of our fun, a trip to Bordeaux, France stands out. We were in Bordeaux, and we were escorted by a wonderful couple that owns and operates a French wine import company. Now, I'm told that we visited many of Bordeaux's historic vineyards, met the winemakers, sample some fabulous vintages, but I'm not sure. But I do remember that for 5 days, at every meal, we drank a bottle of red and a bottle of white. Joni and Cheryl told me that we had a wonderful time. So it must be true. In the next few minutes, you'll meet Bill and understand why he is being inducted into the society tonight. He clearly belongs to this group. As you learn about his successful business history, I want to tell you that he's a fine man. He proudly served his country. He's a great husband, a father, and now a grandfather. Congratulations. He manages his businesses with skill and focuses on the well-being of his customers and his team members. And importantly, as many people here tonight can and will attest, he loves to use his time, talents, and treasures to improve the lives of people in and around our community. Bill is always first to step up to support a worthy cause. And here's my proof. Bill just landed in Memphis and changed into his tux on the way here. Bill is returning from an annual charity event that he and Cheryl support and co-sponsor that will raise $3 million for children in need tonight. So, now that's enough from me. The video will tell you more, but just let me say to Bill, it's my honor to introduce you to the finest group of people you could ever know. Let's see the video.
My name is William Stegbauer. I'm retired, entrepreneur. I grew up here in Memphis, born and raised. Went to Tulane University for undergraduate school on an ROTC scholarship. Went into the service, came back, went to work in the family business. After a few years, I went and did a Vanderbilt weekend MBA. I guess that piqued more of an interest in becoming more involved in business rather than just working, because I worked as a lot of the regular stuff that we did, like deckhands and engineers and on the boats for different positions, and then came, as we called it, ashore to work in our shop as a mechanics helper and junior mechanic. Then I moved to the office working with my father. Then I took over when he retired. Sold the company after being there for almost 40 years. Had some proprietary technology that I had put together and designed, and so it made the company worth some money. So it was time to leave. So I do some little real estate with a partner of mine. And then my real yearning is just like on the river. I like to build things. I was involved with building some towboats, with building barges. I didn't want to get that involved anymore, so I got involved with a machine shop here in Memphis. And we do fabrications and repairs. You give us a set of plans, we can build just about anything for you. So we work on the bridges. When it had its, the I-40 bridge had its crack a few years ago, we helped with the repairs for that, making the plates that they put in place of it. Made an investment in a bakery business here, which all of my former contemporaries said, Bill, they said, you went from one end of the food chain to the other, because we used to haul fertilizer. Now you're doing the finished products. And I said, well, I can tell you that it's a lot better to be on the end I'm on now. The bakery business is just fun. People do it because they love it, they like it, and I really enjoyed it. The people that I work with, it's a family business that I helped to move along. They wanted to grow some, so I became a partner and helped that with moving along. And it's just a lot of fun to see things made, and the cookies and the cakes. I mean, we make like over 200,000 cookies a year. We make like 20 some odd thousand cakes a year. And it's just fun to see all that, to see people, particularly kids. We make them for all the kids in this neighborhood. They know, they love my wife because they come and say, "Oh, Miss Stegbauer, it's my birthday coming up." So she gets cakes for them. My father was probably the biggest influence. He was an actual TV type, movie type living legend in our industry. He had a think far into the future type mind. He grew up in Memphis, Southside High School, just a regular person. Taught me to be patient, taught me to look further than tomorrow, taught me that education was worthwhile, that I should do it because that's what he had done. He realized that you needed more knowledge, and that's the reason he went to law school. Andy Taylor, who, when you were talking about mentors, I guess he has mentored me in many areas because I've been to some seminars of the SOE in the past, over past years, and very impressed with what they do and what they present. And then when he says, "No, you," I said, "Andy, I don't qualify. I mean, what have I done?" And he says, "Man, what haven't you done? You've done plenty."
Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Bill Stegbauer.
And some of it is much more than I am, which is always good to know. Every time, since I saw the draft of that video and look at it, I am so impressed with myself. I really didn't think that I, was that great. But being nominated for this and then accepted, I mean, I'm still kind of in a daze. It's just amazing. Thank all of you who participated in that. Thank all the members who accept the four of us tonight. My other three inductees are just amazing people, and I am so grateful to be in a class with them. I want to say thank you to my wife, which Andy mentioned. She is a well-recognized author and consultant and teacher. Had a career of her own that was spectacular, and we have been together a long time, and I owe her a lot. Thank you very much.
We're going to get a picture made.
Yeah.
And you thought we were finished. Before we go, I want to say this. The bar is still open, and it's a great time to go around and see everybody and congratulate them and do those things. I want to remember a couple of things. First of all, we very much appreciate the sponsors, because without the sponsors, we couldn't do this. And before you leave tonight, Karen Blockman Carrier has food for us. She has a cupcake for us. And there's one group we hadn't really thanked enough, and that's the junior achievement people. You know, the junior achievement people help people to understand money and finance and a lot of things that we assume everybody knows. They educate a lot of kids, and they teach them a lot of important things for their life and for their future. And so we appreciate them. And I personally want to thank one person, and that is Pearson. Pearson is she's our entire staff. She's a one-woman army. Pearson, come up. We'll appreciate you. Way to go. There she is back there. She does a great job, and without her, we wouldn't look near as good as we do. So please, get yourself a drink, congratulate the people, mingle all you like. The party goes on. Thank you for coming.